motherfuckers and you be on a level. Listen, I'm never giving up. Stand your ground, don't be too comfortable or too settled. Listen, I'm never giving up. When you hit rock bottom, it's only one way to go. Listen, I'm never giving up. Everybody got problems, how you handle them, no. Yeah, listen.
Hey, I'm John.
I'm Jonathan. And
welcome to the Formula.
Today's topic is a very interesting one. Thank you to our great producer, Nicole Embry, for bringing this topic up to us because it's something that I have actually have experienced a little bit of in my life already. So today we're going to talk about being a vegan, what being a vegan athlete is all about, and how the athletes that are vegans live their lives. This topic was through a gentleman named John Wilkes. He was actually a UFC fighter from Leicester, England. We discussed the topic around the Game Changers documentary.
Yeah. So, wait. First of all, are you vegan?
I'm not vegan. But I'm pescatarian right now.
Okay.
So I've been pescatarian for 2 years. And
what does that mean? That just you don't eat meat?
I don't eat meat. I don't eat. Basically, only meat I eat is fish. Seafood is only technically meat.
So you eat seafood, but you don't eat
seafood. No, yeah, right. You eat dairy. I do eat dairy. And honey, things like that. But I did go through a cleanse called the De-Herbs Cleanse. I'm pretty sure a lot of people probably have heard that on the radio, Steve Harvey show, Steve Harvey TV show as well. But the De-Herbs diet is that basically it's a lifestyle of clean, vegan. It's all raw. Yeah. So not just vegan, it's raw vegan. So we had to eat raw. Only thing we can eat is raw. Fruits, nuts, and vegetables. That's it. Nothing processed. So I had to make my own dressings for my salads, and avocado was my friend. Yes.
Okay. I like that.
Yes.
Yeah. I want people to understand that veganism is not. There's different levels to it. So you could go vegan, you could go raw vegan, you could go regular vegan. You could do it for dietary reasons. Just go on a vegan diet. Or you can become next level and be an animal activist and be that kind of vegan. Because some vegans say, oh, it's a lifestyle. That's like extreme.
Right,
veganism, if you will. But I don't want people to be pressured into, oh, I can't buy gator shoes because,
right.
Right. It's made by animal.
Everybody joining PETA and stuff.
Right. So
it's ridiculous.
So, I mean, if you want to do that, that's fine. Because it's for some people, it is about protecting our environment, protecting the animals, which is a couple of things that the Game Changers, the documentary, it kind of delved into that a little bit. So like you said, James Wilkes, he got injured. He tore ligaments in both his knees, and he's like, "Oh, how do I recover? What's the fastest way to recover?" So he looked into it, came across this vegan diet. And he just went down that rabbit hole. Come to find out, there's a lot of vegan athletes. Some, just really quick, I'm just going to go through some of the names that was featured in the film. Scott Jurek, ultra marathoner. This dude ran from Georgia to Maine.
Right. It's crazy.
That's ridiculous.
Crazy.
And he's vegan. Come to find out, Carl Lewis was also vegan.
I didn't know that.
I did not know that until
the game changer.
yeah.
Wow.
He kind of went later on in his career, but he said after he went vegan, that's the fastest that he ran.
Right.
There's a weightlifter, Kendrick Forrest. There's a strongman. There's a boxer. There's also a bodybuilder in the documentary. So they kind of went, different spaces.
Oh, I wanted you to do it in a pause. Make sure that you explain exactly what veganism is. So, like, for people who have no idea, about what it is, even though it's all the craze, some people don't understand what it is you can and can't eat and being a vegan.
Right.
So if you just make sure to mention it at some point, you don't have to do it right after I said it, but just at some point to, like, touch back on it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, to reiterate, like, clothing-wise, like that, and also, like, how the extreme of veganism can go to is, like, it's people who, like, will only eat things that have fallen from the tree naturally, or, like, won't eat anything that can cast a shadow. You know what I'm saying? Or, like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, people get, like, really ridiculous.
Right.
So just make sure that you guys mention that, and also mention that the Game Changers is on Netflix.
Okay.
Right. So that's just a few of the athletes that was featured on the film. I looked up what other athletes also went vegan, and the Williams sisters went vegan. And they're like the best tennis players to ever play the game. Right. So I just found that really interesting.
It's very interesting. You have Cam Newton. Cam Newton just went vegan.
Cam Newton is vegan.
He went vegan this year. Yeah. You can really tell he's really slim. He had already started to lose weight because he went pescatarian first.
Mm-hmm.
So he went pescatarian, and then this year he wanted to change things, and he went vegan as well. So he said he sees a big difference in his training regimen and how much he can do. And
they featured some football players from Miami Dolphins and from the Tennessee Titans.
Right.
In the Game Changers. Game Changers, I saw it on Netflix. I don't know if it's on any other outlets, but that's where I got it. Yep. So if you're interested in going to see it, check it out on Netflix.
Absolutely, check it out on Netflix. But with the Game Changers, there's a few things that really caught my attention. Not sure if it caught your attention as well. I'm pretty sure it did. But one of the things that they talked about is, and this is something that Lester said, James said at the beginning, and where he got a little inspiration from Bruce Lee, and I think that this is something that we can carry on in our lives as well. And he said some of the inspiration he got from Bruce Lee and what Bruce Lee actually said about how he went about his life and how he went about when he was getting bullied, he get beat up, and when he got bullied and beat up, he was like, okay, I got to research and find out what I need to do because this choreographed karate.
Karate. I think he was doing karate at the time.
Right? Yeah. When the choreographed karate we learned, this isn't cutting it.
Right. So he's trying to find out, okay, how do I really defend myself,
Right. So what he said you should research your own experience. So go out there and do the research, but experience things. Take action. That's a big action step. But for elite athletes that we're talking about, they have to take action. So massive action, right? Then he said, absorb what is useful. So the things that really is going to help you out in your journey of wherever you want to go or whatever you want to do, absorb that and reject what is useless,
Makes sense.
And we're talking about, Nicole and I was talking about the negativity in life. We need to reject that, So if we out here want to be that elite athlete, and then if we talk to those elite athletes, we notice that they keep that useless information, that negativity out of their lives. Okay. He also said that to add what is specifically your own. So what's going to work for you, what's going to work for Nicole isn't going to work for me. So I have to adapt what's going to work for me and make it my own. So learn from everybody, and it's like the shopping cart approach, the shopping approach. You go into the store, you grab what you want. You don't grab everything because it's there.
Right.
But you grab what you need.
Right. There's a writer, actor, producer by the name of Kevin Smith. He's the Jay and Silent Bob. Are you familiar with it?
I'm not.
He's the Silent Bob of Jay and Silent Bob. Jay and Silent Bob is a movie. They're actually doing a reboot now. He went vegan. So what happened, he had a heart attack and he went vegan. But he said he only eats one meal a day. So like you said, you do what works for you. Eating one meal a day would not work for me.
Right.
Like, I know my body well enough to know that eating one meal a day would not work for me. So with this whole can athletes be vegan thing, you have to find out what really works for you.
Right.
And kind of try to stick to it.
Right. And it's crazy because that actually can work for me. Eating once a day.
You can eat one meal a day.
Yeah. Because through everything that I can change my diet, my eating lifestyle, like at a snap of a finger.
A lot of people can't do that.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I know. And I could do. I've done. What you call it? Fasting, intermittent fasting.
Mm-hmm.
So I've done intermittent fasting, and through that intermittent fasting, all my changes that I've gone through in the last 2 years with pescatarian and going pescatarian, and then want to lose some weight, so I tried intermittent fasting, and with intermittent fasting, I did a 18-6, so went 18 hours without eating, and then 6 hours where I have that I can't eat. So in that 18-6, I eat that one time as soon as I get to that hour that I can eat, and I'm not hungry. Like,
really?
I'm not hungry. And with that, right now, like when I eat, I can't eat that much. Where I can usually eat, I can take down the whole medium pizza. I can eat 2 or 3 slices now, and I'm completely full.
My theory is I have a tiny stomach, so I can't eat big meals. So I have to eat small meals throughout the day. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll eat a small meal, get full, and then I'm hungry like 3-4 hours later. So I got to just, keep eating,
right.
But eating small meals over a longer period of time.
So with the study, one of the studies that he talked about in this Game Changers was about the gladiators, the study of the Roman gladiators. Mm-hmm. I thought that was pretty interesting. And when we think about gladiators, we think about real men,
strong, athletic,
yes,
fighting.
willing to die and will die to put on this performance. Are you not entertained?
Right, right.
And through this study that they did, we had the Roman gladiators. They actually was able to dig up like 68 gladiators in this cemetery, and they analyzed over 5,000 bones, and I thought that was pretty cool. And what they found was that the high bone density in these bones, even being so long ago, and it showed the quality diet that they had, and it showed how intense their workouts were, right? And what they found was that they were all vegans.
Yeah, they were all predominantly plant-based diet.
Right. Well, plant-based. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah.
You're right. Vegetarians.
Yeah.
Yep. You're right. And they called them horderies or something like that.
Yeah, I know what you're saying because I saw it, but I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, the bean and barley mantra, and it was cool. What they found is they did a study with the bones. They crushed the bones up, and there's a strontium in the bones that actually shows like what type of diet a person has. So what they had is there's a if there was a low levels of strontium, it showed that there was carnivores. And it's cool. They had this light, this flame, and if the flame was blue, it showed that they were carnivores. But then if the flame was red, it showed that they were vegetarians. So it's kind of wild, like to know that those ancient gladiators that fought lions and bears and killed each other were vegetarians.
They were predominantly plant based.
Yeah, and everybody think that we have to eat meat. So that's the general thing. Like when you talk about athletes getting strong, getting big, gaining weight, gaining muscle, we think about weightlifting, building muscle, and they talk about protein, right? Talk about the protein in meat, steaks. I had a football when I was in high school. There's a younger football player that you literally. So my freshman year in college, I came back and worked out with him, and this kid ate a steak every meal. And he was rocked up too, but he ate a steak every meal. Like I was like, dude, I wish my grandparents had that kind of money to give me a steak every meal. Maybe I can gain more weight. But then I'm looking at this documentary, and I'm like,
you didn't even need to do all that.
I just need to go into the fields in my knowledge and get me some collard greens.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Eat more collard greens.
Right. But yeah, that's the thing.
Before y'all, I had to clear my throat. But before y'all get to talking, do y'all mind if I interject?
No.
His arteries are probably hard as a rock.
Right.
Like, John and I were talking the other day, and we were talking about how Russell Simmons has this book out talking about veganism. And he made a good point because obviously, when you write a book, which the book isn't brand new, but when you write a book, you have to do a press tour. So you have to, you go around and you talk to, you do different interviews, on the radio and on television and all of that. And he made a good point, in a bunch of the interviews about how the way that meat is made now, because now meat is made. It's not, like how it used to be. There's a greater amount of people in the world. There's a higher demand, for certain types of meat. So now the animals are farmed in a different kind of way.
They're basically mass produced.
And right. And, the things that they feed them and, all of those things in order to keep up with the demand now affects the meat. So, the amount of, I think he said something like the amount of noxious gas or poisonous gas, like in one cow fart is as much as like a tractor trailer,
Right.
or something to that effect, but just it resonated with me because the fact that the thing that people are consuming that is now poisoning them, it's poisoning the air, it's poisoning the environment, it's just trying to keep up with that.
Right.
Meat used to be super expensive. It used to be like, kind of a treat, or, you would get that small piece. Your parents would buy the chicken. Everybody get one piece. You got to fill up on the sides. But now it's a little bit different, and it's almost scary when you think about it in that way because, like, okay, what is in this meat that is making it so inexpensive? it makes it a little bit dangerous. And the fact that there's such a large distinction between, grass fed and cage free and, all these different things. And if you watch some of the documentaries about where the meat comes from and you see the conditions in which it's kept, it makes you, some of these chickens look like mutants, like they kept inside of these tiny little areas. Some of them are deformed, they don't have legs. And then when you look at the packages, right, or just like some of the memes you see like on social media, and you look at the packages and it's looking like, little baby dinosaurs, inside of there. Like, what are they doing to the meat?
Right.
What are they injecting inside of these things to make them fatter? The size of the chicken, what I'm saying, is different. What are they doing to it in order to make it? And then now we're, in turn, when we eat that, we're ingesting it. And the fact that the government puts so much more money towards, meat than produce, it makes such a big difference. Like, you can have a full balanced diet being a vegetarian, a vegan, a pescatarian, all of the different ranges of it. You have to be careful. You can't just, go around doing it all willy-nilly. But the same way where if you were eating meat, there's certain vitamins and nutrients and things that you need to make sure that you have the same way that you do it, with being a vegan or a pescatarian or, whichever incarnation of it that you do.
So let's talk about the studies. How about the study with the 3 athletes? The college athletes.
Where they did the blood test?
The blood test. And let's talk about the study of the blood test. The other study.
So what they did was they fed them 2 meals. One plant-based, one with meat in it. And they did the blood test. And when they ate the meat, their blood, it came back really cloudy. And not clear, not thin. Whereas when they ate the plant-based, you could see right through. They put in a centrifuge to separate, the different liquids, but you could see right through the liquid where it was crystal clear. It was 2 guys that ate meat, and then the one guy ate plant both times.
Right.
And the guy that ate the plant-based both times his blood was perfect. So what they were saying, which is what they were doing with the firefighters, is they showed a good artery where the blood flows really good, and then they showed a clogged up artery where the blood is not going to flow really good.
Right.
So
that's what I was saying about the guy with the steak. The
yeah,
was talking
yeah,
about.
Right.
There's certain things in meat that you don't find in, vegetables.
Right, and they kind of went into that too. Is you're gonna get your protein, but what kind of package are you getting your protein in? Plant based or meat based? Because if you eat the meat, you're not just getting protein. You're getting all types of other stuff that comes with the meat that might not be good for you.
Right.
That we know is not good for you. So, they were getting into that. So it's a really interesting documentary. I recommend everyone watch it.
Absolutely.
And then, you decide for yourself. But, I'm not the type to go extreme veganism. But I would recommend doing it for dietary purposes.
Right. I know there's other purposes too that you would do. And we're going to touch on that as well. We got a lot of men that's going to be listening to this podcast, so we can't just skirt that issue.
You want to talk about it?
Yeah, we're talking about that. we got to talk about that.
All right, so they did an experiment, right? So they basically hooked up a machine to three young men,
right?
And they gave them. Did they eat?
Yes, they
ate.
They did the same thing.
They did the same thing. They ate one.
Yep. One kid had chicken. One kid had a veggie wrap, So we have a veggie burrito, a chicken burrito, and a beef burrito. I think, right. Right. So they did that the first day.
And then, well, when men sleep, we get an erection. So they kind of measured how strong the erection is and how long the erection lasts while you're sleeping.
Yep. And long, when he say long, he's talking about the period of time, like minutes and hours.
Right.
Yeah, it all has to do with like blood flow. All of that kind
Right, because clogged up arteries, you're not going to get that blood flow.
Mm-hmm.
And, you need that blood flow for erections. That's how it works. Right? So, for those who didn't know. And thank you, Jonathan, a.k.a. Boot, for the clarification. So they did the test, and they came back with the test. When they ate the meat, they had very small level of blood flow, basically.
Yep.
So their erections wasn't as strong and didn't last as long. When they ate vegan-based, their erections were much stronger and lasted much longer. So,
all right. And when he means stronger erections, let's make this real clear. One kid had a 8.89% increase in circumference, ladies.
Yeah, full what?
Circumference. All right, very important. And the the erection lasted. Like one was like 312%.
Yeah, 300%.
Like longer. One was 477% longer.
So not only did he perform at his peak, but he had gains.
He has.
Yes.
You got stamina.
Yeah, stamina.
You got that stamina too.
Yes.
Now I don't know if veganism can replace Viagra or something like that, but that just goes to show you that. And again, not all of these experiments were scientifically verified or whatever. But I mean, it's kind of hard to dispute.
It just
the
goes
results.
to show you that we all need to be more conscious about what we put inside of our bodies in general.
Right. Because to me, there's no way there's that many chickens in the world.
Right.
There's chicken everywhere.
Right.
Literally.
Now, they got
Bodegas,
chickens,
pizza, every store, every corner store, everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no way that they're producing that naturally. That's just way too much chicken.
Right. But yeah, guys, just do some research on it. I'm not sure if anyone's, interested in being a vegan. I'm actually really, really considering it.
I am too.
Especially for the last point. So I'm really, really considering it. And
we got some time to Valentine's Day, so
yeah, yes, plenty of time to eat a lot of veggies. And just do some research, guys. We're not getting paid by Netflix, but there's a lot of great documentaries on Netflix.
Definitely check it out.
Thank you again, Nicole, for letting us know about the Game Changers, because I haven't seen that. I didn't know about that one. But there's a Forks Over Knives, which is great. And it actually goes through the same, that 7-day, there was a 7-day eating that the firefighters did just to see what their levels was going to be. So they talk about that.
And the Game Changers, all their levels drop.
Yep.
Cholesterol, all that good stuff.
So definitely do some research on that, guys.
But I don't want people to be misconstrued. Like veganism, there's different levels to it, and you're not eating meat and you're not eating the byproducts of meat.
Right. So that's honey, milk, cheese,
eggs,
ice cream.
Yep,
that's the tough thing right there.
Yeah.
That's that ice cream.
They have some good ice cream alternatives. It's going on 2 years that I haven't been eating meat. And I, like you, I did a cleanse before I started, but I did a green smoothie cleanse.
Mm-hmm.
But it's essentially the same thing.
Right.
Raw, I just found it easier to drink it like a shake, than to be eating, heads of raw cabbage and broccoli,
Right.
or I would, when I needed to like have the sensation of actually eating, I would make like a salad, with like all of the things that were on the list that were okay. And the same thing, like make a dressing with the things on the list that are okay, and have it that way. And I did that cleanse, I think, for 10 days.
And keep in mind, they're like making vegan everything now.
Yeah.
Right.
Vegan meatballs, vegan
You gotta
vegan
try these,
burgers.
tofuty cuties. There's little ice cream sandwiches that are made. Tofu is what the ice cream is. It's really good.
Interesting.
Coconut ice cream,
Right, the
almond milk.
non-dairy ice
Yeah.
cream.
Yep. Vegan chicken salad. I had
Right.
that.
Right.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, for sure.
So definitely check out the documentary. If you have any comments, questions, I am definitely interested in going vegan. For anybody who is already vegan and wants to reach out to us and give us some advice or some pointers, want to help us out with that, feel free to do so. We are on Twitter and Instagram at The Formula Productions. And we're on YouTube. So check it out.
Check us out, guys. Just give us a like, thumbs up, subscribe, and definitely appreciate you guys' time. And we'll see you guys next time.
Till next time.
Ignoring the pain of self. Switch knees and switch speeds, plus a cane. What else? Broke her back to get it done with no one's help. Matter of fact, that's the pun. When no one helps, gotta find a way to get it done with no one else. When no one helps, gotta find a way to get it done. Yeah. Never let her bring you down, 'cause it can be on it.